podcast. We are two friends in fiber coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for at least 4 more weeks.
Thereabouts.
Give or take. And then we'll have a whole new intro I'll have to do and never remember correctly. It's episode, what did I say? 153?
153.
Great. I'm Jocelyn. My co-host is
Diana.
And it's a Sunday afternoon and I don't know where my brain is. Like, there's going to be inside jokes for Cells at Work, which is a show on Netflix. It's an anime show on Netflix.
It's quite something.
It is listen, it was part of the Instagram post for watching. The hashtag for February. Well, because watching means so many things, so I made it mean 2 things, and I definitely put it in there. Anyway, it's what it is. We are a knitting podcast. We talk about everything else and knitting. It's kind of just how it works. Diana tries to keep us on track. I don't even bother. And we'll see where we go.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen each other 3 out of 3 days, which is unusual for me and Diana.
Might make us slightly more on track.
Maybe.
So we've done all our visiting? No, that's a lie. I'm lying to us.
Background noise brought to you by Sunday afternoon canceled plans. So my whole family upstairs is free to do things, which means we might hear video game music. We might hear a yelling match of the teenagers made to do something. Like, anything could happen, guys.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Expect the unexpected.
They might just be gaming upstairs as a family, which they do, which is totally cool. Like, I join in when I can, but
so there might still be yelling.
There still might be yelling, but it'll be at the computer. But my sister has a subwoofer, and it travels through the floor really well. So I'm sorry if you guys hear a bit more background noise than usual today. It's just everybody's home, which not terribly unusual on a Sunday, but we're usually short a brother-in-law because he's usually working. He's got today off, so when it's all 3 of them, the noise level is just a little bit higher. There's an extra human upstairs. And the puppies aren't lying dejectedly around on the floor because father's abandoned them and they have woes. What? The German Shepherd bonded with him.
She's a very excitable one.
Yes, she is. And you should hear him when he goes to work.
Oh.
The world has come to an end. The colossal flop this 95-pound dog can do on a hardwood floor is impressive. And, like, we've given up on life. It's such a drama queen. And I hear, there's this huge deep sigh. Like, people, 19th century Inuit sufferers in France wish they could sigh like this. Like, it is deep. Oof. It is. We can't be bothered to do anything. Dad has abandoned us. I love that dog so much. Doesn't do personal space.
Nope.
It does not exist.
I noticed Dee Dee doesn't run and hide immediately when I show up now. Maybe I've been coming over long enough.
You've been coming over long enough. The dog that doesn't do people might be okay with you.
Maybe. I pet her precisely once in however long I've been coming here.
Well, she's had a lot of socialization issues, and she was definitely not well treated before we got her. So she has a lot of trust issues with people. I have to remember, sometimes she freaks out when we come into the house.
Ooh.
She's
very anxious
most of her life.
Okay.
I have to verbally identify, though she's old enough now, we think maybe she's having some vision problems. That's right, the blind family might have a partially blind dog. So she might not actually be seeing us, so we make sure to talk when we come through the door so she hears us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so. But I mean, she's old enough now, she's got white in her muzzle, and she's got,
Okay.
We're getting up there. We're into the senior years of our dog life. German Shepherd?
Quiet.
No. German Shepherd's right in the middle.
I didn't even know she lived in this house for like 2 years. I'm like, what do you mean you have a second dog?
There's 2 dogs, 2 birds, and a cat. Clearly I need another cat because it should be 2, 2, and 2, right?
Obviously.
The numbers are all wrong.
All wrong. Need somebody to boss around when you're not around.
She would not be the dominant cat. Knowing my luck, I'll get a kitten and it'll be a dominant kitten and it'll be like the 8-pound kitten bossing around like the 20-pound cat. Like, that's how that would work for me.
I can just imagine Phaedra sitting dejected in a corner like, Mom, why did you bring this thing home?
Yes, in fact, in the beginning. The first pair of cats I had, one was named Patches. She was a calico. That's a shocker. We got her from the humane shelter because she didn't flinch when the dog jumped up towards her. We already had a puppy. His name was Chewy. He was not short for anything. He just liked to chew on stuff. Well, you'd think it'd be short for Chewbacca, given my mom loves Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's literally because he liked to chew things.
Okay.
Yeah, we were not thinking that far ahead. It worked out great because it could be short for Chewbacca, but that's not how we named him. We had him when we came down from up north.
Okay.
So he was a full-grown dog who didn't know what trees were. You don't have trees up north. Just see Dad trying to convince him to pee on a tree. It's like, no, I don't understand what this is. I'm not going there. Anyway, got a cat. First one was Patches. The second one I got was a rescue. The rest of his litter had gone to homes because the vet couldn't keep the kittens, so we either had to find homes or the kittens would be put down because there was no space anywhere for them to go. So my girlfriend called it a panic, and she had rescues for all of them, and one of them didn't show up. She needed a ride down, so I ended up bringing home like fit in palm of hand tiny kitten, just barely into real food.
Oh wow.
Little dude, and we called him Dude because I refused to let my mother name him Spider. It's a good thing we went with Dude because he grew into, turns out they were Manxes and big. So tiny little kitten, baby kitten, was able to get all of his forearms up onto the kitchen counter when he was done growing. Woo. He was a big boy, but he was like a stoner cat, so like he moseyed. There was no speed to him at all, but the littler calico bossed him around like nobody's business. Not the dominant cat.
Fair.
The boss of that house was the smaller cat. So yeah, that would totally happen to me again. Yeah.
So we've totally derailed. Should we list what we're going to talk about today?
I love talking about my cat.
I know. I'm sure she'll come up again. She always does.
It's my cat. I'm a cat lady. Yes, let's talk about what we're going to cover this week.
We've got What's in Our Cup, Cool Threads, Woolly Workings, Yarn and Dough, Wool Gathering, Kniterature, and a review.
A review?
A review. I know, it's crazy.
What? That hasn't happened since last quarter when you got your last one.
I know.
Woo!
Alright, Cup.
We have to go to digital books so we can do those and actually, you know, both have copies.
I did get that humble bundle of craft books. I can just
So did I.
Oh, well.
I didn't get as many as you did because I didn't have enough free money to just get all of them, but I did get a bunch.
Clearly we should just pick one of those and
absolutely
review it.
We should. I was thinking a couple of digital magazine subscriptions this year because I'm really having problems with reading the print. Yeah.
We can do it.
All right. So what's in our cup? Right. That's first.
Yep.
It's 153 episodes, and I don't remember. Cool.
I have some peppermint and creamy vanilla from Twinings, that one that I don't know how to say.
I think it's Twinings.
I think so because it's got the one in. I think we have this discussion every time.
We do. I pulled out my Sailor Moon mug. Sailor Moon! My sister bought it for me for Valentine's Day before H&M closed down. It was like 50% off, like $14 or something. I remember calling Mother in a panic because I really needed to own it and I didn't have an excuse to buy it, so we found one. Super glad. It was actually one of my first big mugs. I mean, I obviously moved on to bigger mugs. Listen, as soon as I have enough money, I think the I Love My Cat one has to come home.
That one was pretty cute.
Pretty cute. So, I am drinking some cinnamon vanilla from the other major company of tea that I like to buy from Stash. They do really good caffeine-free teas, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my tea has to be caffeine-free because a lot of my life is caffeine-free now.
Sad.
For everybody who was at the Patreon knit-in the other day, I am drinking coffee again. The headache has gone away. I really hate having to go caffeine-free for a day or two. It hurts. Don't do it. If you don't have to, don't do it. Alright, I think that's it for, yeah.
Yeah. Threads. Cool threads.
We still have that, don't we?
Yeah.
Guys, it's not winter. It's February. February. It should not be 2 degrees above zero.
I'm thoroughly delighted that I'm wearing my leather jacket open today and no gloves. I'm really happy.
Until we went walking any distance.
Well, it's also really windy, which is unpleasant. It's also wet and slushy.
It's wet and slushy. It's gross. It's gross.
It's got
just had
6 months of, well, not 6 months.
Extended spring all winter. Ugh.
Yeah, it's been weird.
I don't like it.
I could do without the extended spring.
You're moving to a province where that's winter.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll find plenty of stuff to complain about over the weather out there.
Probably.
It's it sounds consistently inconsistent. Minus
Beautiful.
20 one day, plus 5 the next.
Oh, jeebers.
Yeah, wonderfully inconsistent. So this week I wore my glam lamb, and I have notes here somewhere.
I didn't write the notes.
I know, I wrote the notes, but I wrote them several hours ago before I came over, so I don't remember what I wrote. It says I wore my glam lamb this week.
Does it say you wore anything else? My nose is itching, I don't know why. Okay.
I also wore my Katie hat, and I brought out the Even Star shawl as well, which I'll talk about a little bit more later.
It had a road trip.
It did have a road trip. I got to brag about my knitting prowess at work.
Excellent. It has been stupidly warm for February, so I'm wearing my Find Your Fade, but it's on the super loose wrap, so it's not like wrapped around my head 6 times, so it's snug. It's wrapped around once and super drapey. And then today I wore the Goldfish Memories to run out and do the dreaded water jug refill. Thank heavens for motorized wheelie assistance, because doing that in the winter in the wheelie cart is a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt.
Water sloshes too. That just makes it so much worse.
Yep. Yeah, and then the wheels are so tiny on the little wheelie carts.
Yeah.
It just sinks right in. Yeah, and then you have to work against the inertia of the water jug and the friction of the snow. I mean, don't get me wrong. Best upper body workout I have ever had in my life. But it's not fun. It's not fun. Too much. So when I can get a car ride for that, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, your poor trunk took a beating.
Yeah. I tried to pack that thing in there and just take
It
a turn
refused.
real gently, and it was just
It
bonk.
refused. It refused. It was like, no, we will not stay
surprised
stationary.
to find dents in there later.
Oh, I wouldn't be either. I'm sorry. Oh, poor trunk.
Alright, well, let's get into the section that everybody's actually here for. Woolly workings. What are we working on?
It's like wool gathering. I only had a chance to work on 2 projects.
Oh my god, I have more projects than you.
You do have more projects than
Oh my god, everybody just take a minute.
Take a moment.
I have 1 more project than Jocelyn this week.
Yep.
It's not even the same number. I have more.
One more. That's impressive. That doesn't happen very often.
I'm just gonna savor this.
You're gonna take a moment?
Just for 5 more seconds.
Should I have a sip of tea while you take your moment?
Okay, I'm
Just
good.
Like a moment of silence?
I took my moment.
Heavens.
It's just so very...
Note to self, never have fewer than 3 projects ever again.
You're just disrupting my entire expectation of life right there.
All right. Mom,
See,
what are you doing? Randomly working on a 3rd project tonight. Mom, why? Me, because Diana doesn't know how to handle it when I only have 2. Like,
I don't know what to do with this. I never have to go first because I never have more.
Guess what? You gotta go first. Whoa, throws you do for a loop, hey? Think on the go. You're a podcaster now. You've done Toastmasters. You should be able to come up with full sentences off the top of your head without using the words like, or ah. We don't, by the way. We don't use the filler words very often.
No, I know.
I'm very proud of us. Thanks for blowing that streak.
Sorry.
I drink my tea in disgust now.
I'm thinking about it too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now while we're podcasting, there was
really,
a semi-filler word. Now I'm thinking about it way too hard. I'm working on the Flax Cardigan Pullover. It's the Flax Pullover by Tin Can Knits for our podcast anniversary knit along.
That's because I'm working on the cardigan. That's why.
That's why. You can see from my little llama coin stitch marker here, I haven't knit that many rows. That was because I thought I was ready to split my sleeves apart last week, and I was not, because while my stitch gauge is bang on, my row gauge is super off. So I had to knit about an extra inch and a half before I can split for my sleeves. But I am almost there now. So this thing is coming along very nicely. Wait, if I make all of the sounds while I get it. There we go. It looks like a very bunchy sweater. So this is the pumpkin spice colorway from
It
Dye
looks
For
like
You.
you're not using a 40-inch cord.
Yeah, well, I didn't have one. I had the needles that I had that were in the correct size. I bought the needles.
I make her justify this every time.
I bought the needles that the pattern said, thinking I usually get gauge with the needles that the pattern says. I was not getting gauge with the needles that the pattern says. So I used needles that I already have, which are interchangeables.
And I don't have a 40-inch cord.
I don't
just order some spare cords.
I should just order some spare cords. I didn't think of that. Anyways, it's working out fine. It's a little bit bunchy, but like they're staying on just fine.
Phaedra has abandoned the open window.
Ooh, she's coming this way.
She's gonna be mad because she shut that door.
I didn't shut it all the way. She can. Oh, did I shut it all the way?
I don't know if you shut it all the way. She's gonna start whacking on that door. I don't shut the door.
The collar and the cuffs are in charcoal, and the body of the sweater is in pumpkin spice. It's looking very nice. This side's less bunchy looking.
What the hell are you doing, Kat?
really happy with how stripy this is looking. It looks so fall. I'm really excited. I'm especially excited about my long cuffs with the thumb holes that I'm adding. That's the only real change I'm making to the pattern.
I like the sort of variation in color you're getting from the pumpkin spice.
I know.
It's striped but not striped. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But it's not color pooled.
Yes.
You're just getting a nice color flow down it. So it's going to look freaking gorgeous when you wear it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my nose is so itchy, but it is itchy. Oh, no. I know why it's itchy. It's because we opened the window, so I wanted fresh air, but the snow's melting, and I'm allergic to snow mold. I didn't even know that was a thing when I was growing up. Excuse me while I get off frame and close the window before the cat gets back in the window and I get yelled at. Ask Diana. She yelled at me when I went to go close it earlier.
Oh, she did? Enjoy this for a second.
Yeah,
It's really cozy.
It's really freaking cute.
I'm really excited for this to be done. It's going to look so good.
Alright, so last week I started a collar because I couldn't take it anymore. The pink was killing me. I am very, very, very slowly working on a flax pullover for my niece. But for my podcast anniversary knit along knit, I was going to, and I am doing the Harvest cardigan. I'm doing the cardigan on a pullover because I wear cardigans. I'm not that big of a pullover person. Like, I do wear them, but not very often. Anybody who knows me in real life knows I prefer cardigans. Because I prefer cardigans. So, I had a collar, which was great. I had done the collar initially on a 6mm, which had got me closer to gauge, but I didn't like the fabric. Like, it was a little loose. There was a little too much air going on. Too much drape for a sweater collar. Does that make sense? Those words we can use. So I ripped it out and redid the collar on a 5mm. Guys, it's 20 stitches wide. Sorry, 18 stitches wide for my size. 18 stitches wide, and I did 144 rows. That took no time. In fact, it took 2 knitting podcasts, so 2 hours. It's 2 hours worth of work to do the collar. Then I picked up the stitches, which was an interesting endeavor because I can see the stitches while they're on the needle in this beautiful cranberry color. It's like a burgundy wine color. Like, it is an excellent deep red. Purpley red. Excellent deep red. So I can see them when they're on the needle because the needle's shiny and the wool is decidedly not. And I can see the color and admire it. And I can see the color and admire the color in person. I can't see the stitches. So Dinah came over on Friday. I was like, hey, how does my stitch definition look on my sweater? Because I have no idea. And I've been knitting on it for several rows now because I'm just over the halfway mark on the increases. So that's a thing. In less than a week, I went from nothing to this. I am on a 40-inch cord. I am also a 2XL. So, like, I've got a lot of stitches going, and I have even more to do it. So I'm working my way through my increases. Thank heavens they don't have a garter panel, because if you all remember the Flax Light, that does nothing but drive me bonkers. It looks great. I never want to do one ever again.
I understand, because, yeah, I was screwing it up, too.
I can't do it.
You did screw it up a number of times. I spent a lot of time dropping down and fixing it.
It's crazy. So I have it marked. I'm doing my front, my right. It's a 4-row repeat right now. So that's fine. I'm making my way through that. I'm hoping to be past my armholes and be split for my sleeves for next week. Mostly because I would like to just be working on the body for a while.
Yeah.
And I really need to get this done. And let's be honest, Jocelyn's fallen behind on a commission project. So that's going to take front and center stage next week. So I'm making mine out of Knit Fix Wool of the Andes in the cranberry colorway. There's many, many balls of it. Because I'm a 2XL size. Because the girls are a 52. I'm making the 51-inch bust line because I like 0 or negative ease around the boobies. Using the technical term. And because the rest of me underneath is much smaller, so then it A-frames really nicely. But if I made it the size I made it for my chest, she's scratching at the door. For my boobies, it is straight up and down, which then makes me look like a box. Cat. Cats don't stop till they get their way. No. And I can now demonstrate that you can, in fact, fit a sweater's quantity worth of yarn in a swag bag. Woo! This is my swag bag from the Winter Warrior Challenge that I did on CBC. So it's the retro, and then I have another one from CBC coming in next week. Because I won a book thingy. Jocelyn, stop entering prizes. I can't win for 6 weeks after this, guys, so there'll be a break. So I have it in there, and as the balls decrease, the sweater fits in there, so I actually fit an entire sweater in this bag. It's a little snug. I'd like a smidge more room, but you know what? It's perfect for what I need to use it for. And they've got the nice long straps. Something about useful long straps. All right, I only have one more project, so it's your turn again.
My turn again. Okay.
So I wedged my pants up like Steve Urkel.
You know what? Sometimes they're comfier that way.
They're leggings. They're like the jegging legging things, so they are.
Ah. I picked up the Mittens of Cursedness.
Mittens of Cursedness.
Yes, I seem to
The
have
Mittens of Doom.
I seem to have overcome my curse on the second mitten because it's just flying through quite smoothly. I made all of my mistakes on the first one.
Oh, good.
The first one got finished. And then I got up to where I was just ready to do my increases for my thumb gusset, and then I put it down for like 3 weeks.
For no reason.
I was busy doing other stuff.
Got it.
I started a sweater, I think, is what happened.
Probably, yeah.
So yesterday at work, no, not yesterday, this isn't Saturday. On Friday at work, the last work day.
This is decidedly not Saturday.
This is not Saturday. Sunday is not Saturday. On Friday at work, it was QSM, which is the quarterly sales meeting, which sounds incredibly dull.
It is dull.
However, at my workplace, they truck in a buttload of pizza, and we just always have 2 kegs of beer, and
No. It is boring. They bribe you to think it's fun. It's the same way we get children to eat broccoli by putting cheese whiz on top of it and melting it.
Whatever. I got pizza and beer on Friday.
And you had to work on your mitten.
And 4 hours of knitting time while I listened to numbers and stats. And I got paid to do that, for the record. So I finished my thumb gusset and plus a few rows.
Oh my gosh.
So I got like a good 2 inches of work done on this mitt on Friday,
So
which
the
is great.
only reason you had a second project is because you had a quarterly sales meeting.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle it when you move to Waterloo if you don't have those meetings?
I know. I also, just in front of that meeting and in the breaks, I made a new knitter.
Good. We need more knitters.
Yep.
More knitters are required.
Taught a guy how to knit. So.
Even better, a dude knitter.
Yeah.
We really need more dude knitters.
He did really well, too.
Beautiful. Hopefully
he
takes
made a
to
nice...
it and enjoys it.
He kept at it for the entire QSM, and he had a nice little square at the end.
Hey, even if all he does is knit while he's at the QSM, when it... Don't knock that over! I swear, you troublemaker. We're early, like, we're mid-afternoon. We're like around 3 o'clock. So she's either active in doing something or she's napping right now, like during her time of day. Guys, cats don't have circadian rhythms. They just, when they're asleep, they're asleep. When they're awake, and they can vary it if they need to. Imagine not having a tied sleep schedule. Like, sun sets and that doesn't mean anything to you. Your body doesn't go, hey, we should think about sleeping.
Downside of knitting for 4 hours straight on these tiny little needles when I don't normally do that is my wrist is really tired now. My right wrist that I had messed up several months ago doing poor ergonomics on my keyboard. Yeah, so that flared up again. So I've been doing lots of different stuff this weekend, which is how I have 3 different projects.
You thought about maybe doing some exercises to strengthen those muscles? Tendons?
What I should do is not go from 30 minutes of knitting a day to 4 hours of knitting in a day.
That is also highly recommended.
Now, I did take breaks every 20 minutes while I was knitting for 4 hours, and I stretched, and I took breaks. And
that's still a magnitudes of order.
Yeah,
more
what I
knitting.
need to do is not do that.
Like when I'm visiting Mom and I knit for 8 hours a day. Well, I'm already knitting for almost 4 a day now.
Yeah.
So doubling it isn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah, I shouldn't like multiply it by a factor of 10.
Yeah, that's a bit intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, I've got no one to blame but myself.
Got it. Got it.
But I do have a good chunk of a mitten, so not that upset.
I wouldn't be, no.
Yeah, like look at that mitten.
I'm gonna be so happy when you're done those mittens because the first one gave you so much grief.
It really did.
And your brother's been waiting for quite a while.
Yeah, he has.
It'd be really good if you got them done. You can give them to him shortly after you move to the water known as the loo.
Yes. That would be great, especially since by then it'll be warm enough there that he doesn't need them.
Yep.
Yay.
Well, you know.
But that's how it goes with
that's
gift
what both
knits,
of
right?
you get for living in Southern Ontario. I really don't know what to tell you because you still need them in April in this city sometimes.
Do you remember Canada Day a few years ago where it was like 10 degrees?
Yeah, I actually left the house.
People were wearing their Canada mittens that day, so you might need your mittens in July.
No, that's people being overly dramatic. 10 degrees Celsius is not cold.
It was a weird kind of, it was weird.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful because your under parts didn't feel like the underside of the devil's inanimate male object. You weren't sweaty and gross. People didn't stink because they don't know how to use underarm. They weren't smelling because they decided to bathe in cologne or perfume because they didn't want to use underarm. Oh, garbages didn't stink. Because garbages really stink in the summer.
Yeah.
No. It was beautiful.
Okay.
You could stand outside and not feel like you were becoming the puddle of goo that happens to ice cream sandwiches when you leave them alone for too long. Like, it was nice. It was nice. You could enjoy your beverage. You could talk to people. And you weren't thinking to yourself, it doesn't matter if I look funny with a shaved head. I'm going to do it anyway.
What?
I seriously contemplate shaving my head every summer.
Oh.
I have a funny bumpy head. I would look ridiculous. I can hear my mom right now. Your head is not shaped right for that. Though my mom be like, you have a lumpy head. Don't do that. Thanks, Mom. You're right. I wouldn't phrase it that way, but you are right. I can't do that. But, summer. I was not designed for heat. Now, don't get me wrong. The year I was really sick, I was cold that winter. It does suck. But I'm not normally cold in the wintertime, so it's a thing. Okay, I was working on socks because I needed a quick pickup project that I don't need to think at very hard. Because everybody needs a quick project they can pick up and not have to think about very, very hard. So I cast on a pair of socks. I did not cast on a secondary Jack sock because I can't find the orange coordinating ball. Still can't find it. I did cast on the Sally sock. It is a Fleechy yarn from Knit Picks. They come in 50-gram balls, so I bought 2 balls because it takes about 50 grams per sock for me. And I'm just going up. So I've got all the colors now, I think. The color striping is, I don't know, because I've never knit with Fleechy before. So I did this as a slightly wider foot. If you're new, you won't know. If you're an old listener, you'll know I'm accident prone. So it is not uncommon for me to have a swollen ankle. So I'm knitting socks a smidge larger than I normally knit because I would like to have socks that I can wear that I've made for when I have busted my foot and they don't fit in regular size socks.
It seems smart. It does happen a lot.
I'm really good at it. So I'm currently working my way through my first sock. I was going to do these 2 at a time. No.
Oh, there goes the ball.
There goes the ball. I was going to do these 2 at a time. And then I decided to make my life easy. I would cast on a toe and then just slip them onto the DPNs that I use when I make a heel. Then cast on the second toe and put them on. Completely forgot and just started knitting the foot. So I'm doing them 1 at a time. Just, I wasn't thinking about it. I was just like, oh, I'm on my toe. Just start knitting. Got into the habit. So these ones, our colorway is inspired by the Nightmare Before Christmas. Not that they could say that because, you know, you got trademarks and stuff. But those are Sally socks. Those are Sally's colors from the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Cat, stop eating the yarn.
Can you go fetch that from her?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Don't eat it. Silly creature.
There are things about being a pet owner.
Here, have a ball of slightly chewed on yarn.
That's fine.
You are a nuisance.
She is a nuisance.
Come here,
she
nuisance.
didn't do any damage, so that's the important part.
Come here, nuisance.
Come make your reappearance on the internet for a while. So I think I've gotten to the end of the stripe waist, but you got these beautiful muted Halloween colors. So we have a light kind of mauvey purple, a very kind of muted mustard yellow, a tealy kind of blue-green, a deeper purple. I want to say like a corally pink. Because it's not a red, but it's definitely a corally, or like a super faded red. And then a yellow. My color identification today is pretty poor, guys. It's not doing super hot, so I'm sorry if you're listening and you don't watch. If you follow us on Instagram, there are photos of the sock. If you want to see the colors in person. It is no longer a continued colorway. I wasn't super worried about that. I wanted to know what it was like to knit on the Fleechy yarn. I'm really enjoying the knitting. Which means I might have to order more Fleechy Knit Picks yarn. That's fine. Hello, kitten. So that's a thing. And that's okay. I was more interested in knowing what it was like to knit on.
What has she stepped in? I'm covered in...
Damp?
No. Dirt.
Oh, I have no idea. I honestly couldn't tell you how she gets dirty or sticky or wet. I don't know. Unless the dog's been visiting recently and then I know why she's sticky. Or if her face is wet and she's disgusted.
What has she been...
I don't know. I don't know. She could have been playing in any number of things. She could, you know what? She could have been under the bed.
Oh.
Or a dresser.
Try to do it.
Oh yeah, no, she was definitely under the bed. That's dirty.
Okay.
Welcome to being a cat owner.
That'll teach me to pick up a cat.
Pets, small humans. It's roughly the same. Roughly the same. We're gonna go get in trouble somewhere else? Okay. You're gonna go stare at that door again, are you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for projects that I can talk about. I'm gonna do that annoying thing where people are like, I'm working on stuff and I can't show you. Not ready for test knitting. I can't show you.
Alright.
It's just how that works.
I have one more project to talk about.
I have yarn you bought me.
Oh yeah. What section does that go in?
Wool gathering.
Yeah. Okay. Talk about that in a moment.
Because wool gathering is a catch-all where we stick everything.
Alright.
Why is my nose itchy?
My third project is a corner-to-corner blanket that I started. It was supposed to be a wedding present for my husband-to-be for our wedding.
You married him. Like
I married him in 2018.
How'd that go for your deadline?
this August will be our 2-year anniversary.
Uh-huh.
So my new deadline is, he's living in Waterloo right now for work, and so he's going to be coming back here in a week.
A week.
A week.
7 days. He flies in today, next week.
Yeah, 1 week today.
Yep.
So I'm hoping to have this blanket done in time for him to take it back with him.
I really wish we could do laughter tracks.
You know what? Honestly?
I love you very much. You are on decreases. So
it's a corner-to-corner blanket.
You could do it.
I cannot show you because it's too big. It is roughly the width of the top of a queen-size bed. I'm not going to call it a queen-size bedspread because it doesn't hang down the sides, but it's the same dimensions as the top of one.
It's a double
more
size.
Or less.
It's a double bedspread size.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, because you go double and you put a double on a queen, it doesn't hang off the edges, like it almost comes to the edges. And a queen is that much.
Swear like a shawl a bit. There we go.
It's going to be an excellent couch throw.
I'm really excited. It's going to look really nice on the gray couch we bought for the Waterloo apartment.
Love the fact, the production, that was you laying it out on my floor and measuring it out to take a photo, to then pick it up off the floor to take it into my room, because I have a queen size bed, to lay it out on my bed. It took 3 of us, because like me and Terry followed her.
Oh yes. This is a 3-person operation. To spread it out on the floor to measure it, and then to put it on the bed, and then like eyeball it.
What we didn't do, take the photo, which was why we went over to the floor to lay it out in the first place.
And I stopped halfway through the measuring
to tell a
story, and like there was a whole bit. I was just standing there right beside it for like a good 15 minutes telling the story, and
it occurred to me the following morning when she hadn't posted on Instagram for the February challenge. I went, oh well, we were on the ball yesterday. Hey, I found a photo, so it was fine. It wasn't the one we were gonna do.
Nope. Anyway, I have done the first corner where you go from increases to 1 increase and 1 decrease, depending on the row. And now I finished my third corner, so now I'm just decreases all the way down. Turtles all the way down.
Turtles all the way down.
Decreases all the way down until I get to 1 block, and then it's just a border.
Yeah.
To take care of all of these wiggly little ends on the ends, and then I've got to weave in a few of the ones that are in the middle where the balls of yarn wound up. I made sort of a fiber flub when I was planning this project, apparently. I am 1 ball short on the black, somehow.
You swore you had enough when we bought them.
I swore up and down.
I remember being with you going, nope, we're good. I've double checked. It's all I need. I went, okay,
I read the pattern again like 6 times when I realized I didn't have enough black, and I'm like, how did I not have enough? I think it's because I'm using all of the same kind of yarn, for the record. It's Lion Brand Heartland, but this black is distinctly a different weight than this red.
Okay, so you're just having some weight issues between the one to the other. Okay.
But they say they're the same weight.
Well, yeah, but
so I think
nobody has the same fingering to fingering. They're all different.
Well, these are both Lion Brand Heartland.
Yeah.
And the black and the red say they're the same weight, but the black is definitely thicker than the red.
Maybe so they had a slightly thicker base that time around, maybe.
I guess. So I think that's where my problem is, because it's not like I even need a whole ball. I need like 1/4 of a ball of the black. So I think that's probably what it is.
You have way more than that now.
Yeah, so
she couldn't find a 100-gram ball.
I didn't. I checked the website. They said they had it in stock, so I went to buy it. I should have just ordered it online. but they didn't have it in stock, and I'm like, you know what, I need this. It's like my next color after the red. And I just finished the red stripe the other day. So I found some that's really freaking close. It's close enough.
Given that it's not next to each other, it should be fine.
Yeah, and because of stripes, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I got Loops and Threads Wales Big.
You needed 100 grams. How many grams do you have?
I have 300 grams. So I guess I'm making a hat after.
Why not? You could crochet a hat.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah. Crochet a worsted hat.
And honestly, I think
possibly a pair of mittens.
You know what? I might be able to make like a baby blanket size out of the leftovers. Like there's a weird amount of leftovers. Yeah. So I triple checked the pattern when I planned this project and bought the yarn. I was so certain I was right. Somehow I'm still terribly wrong on several counts.
Cool.
But the project itself is turning out great.
The blanket looks really good, guys.
I'm super happy with the stripe combination. It's light brown heartland in red.
Don't ask me. I can't remember the colors.
It was Black Canyon.
Yeah.
The white is Acadia.
Okay.
The yellow is
There's something Canyon.
Golden something or other. Wait, I've got one with the ball band. The gold is Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Yellow.
Yeah, but they're go figure they're named after
and the red I think is Redwood.
That I don't know. They all have very natural sounding names.
Yeah, I think they're named after like national parks or something in the US.
Maybe. Anyway, they're the colors of your husband's mostly completed house crest application.
Yes, mostly completed except for the fact that there's like a $1,500 processing fee.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, so he hasn't submitted that yet.
That's
understandably.
Because that's a lot of money.
But these will be our house crest colors.
They will be.
Yeah.
I think it'll look great on the gray couch.
It's going to look so good on the gray couch.
You have enough of those leftovers, you should just take a look at doing pillows for your couch.
That's an even better idea.
That's it. I have one good idea a day. You just heard it come out of my face.
It'll just be granny square stripes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hello, like, as I pull out the pillow I sit behind. This is just a granny square.
Yeah, it'll be something like that.
Yeah.
I'll just stripe in all 4 colors.
Yeah. I mean, I did waffle in the front. Don't do waffle. It eats a lot of yarn.
But that feels nice, though.
It looks amazing and it feels great. But I need to go buy 2 more Charisma in the bulky so I can make the other pillow. I'm going to stick that back behind my back so I'm sitting properly.
I'm going to put this away because that whole wrist thing, I gotta not do that.
Don't do that.
Gotta take it real easy today because of course after having done that to myself on Friday,
she came here and knit for a couple hours.
Came here and knit for a couple hours, and then yesterday we had our Patreon knit club, so I knit for like another 2 hours. So I gotta take it real easy today.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
The next few days. That's
fine. Take a break. Enjoy it.
Those are
partially chewed on yarn.
Those are my 3 projects.
I said to you, don't look at me, ma'am. You're the one who chewed on it. All right.
Brings us to Yarn on the Go.
Sweet. I didn't go anywhere with my yarn this week. I don't know why my nose is itchy. It's driving me crazy.
I will tell the very brief story of I found an excuse to take my lace wedding shawl to work and brag about my knitting prowess as like a hashtag humble brag.
That's not a humble brag. That's a straight up brag. Don't humble brag about that shawl. You did the Evening Star shawl. In the knitting community, that's huge. Never mind people outside the knitting community.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Don't humble brag that. Just brag that.
Brag that?
Just brag that.
The Toastmasters project was to connect with your audience. So I was supposed to pick a topic that was unusual that people wouldn't necessarily know about.
Okay.
So I did knitting a lace shawl as a metaphor for life. And the title of the speech was One Stitch at a Time. And so it was about how I learned to be kind to myself knitting the shawl, because you have to do a little bit and a little bit, and if you don't do a bit some days, then I was really hard on myself when I didn't do that. I'm like, why can't you do this simple thing, like 2 rows a day? It's not that hard. I was getting really mean to myself internally. But if you even do like 5 stitches, that's great. That's getting you closer to your goal. And so you have to be kind to yourself 1 stitch at a time. And then the second bit was about mistakes, how you can make mistakes, but you can fix your mistakes, and it's probably not as hard as you think. So you can fix your mistakes 1 stitch at a time. And then the third one was about the magic of friendship. about how Knit Club was
Got
like...
the My Little Pony reference.
I know, right?
Holy Hannah.
It was about how Knit Club was like, you're going to finish that shawl. We are coming over on this day at this time, and your shawl's going to be done because we're blocking that sucker.
Oh yeah, we were like, you have to be done because we're showing up with our blocking needles and our wires and our pins, so you better be ready for us. I'm not sure if that's magic as friendship or bullying gets stuff done. Like, what are the two words? You were not going to your wedding without having that finished, and that was the last day we could come block that shawl to have it ready for your wedding. You were going to be done on that day because you were wearing that shawl to your wedding. We were all attending your wedding. It was going to be done.
So it got done, and it was really nice having 4 people helping me pin that thing out, because that would have taken like 3 hours by myself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was the 4 of you on the ground, and I sat and supervised because we didn't have space for a 5th one in there. But I did bring my really big mats, which were helpful.
Yes.
Yeah. I was a supply person.
All of you helped me pin it out all nice and perfect, one
all of
stitch
our pins
at a time.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it did take all of our pins. So you helped me pin it all out nice and crisp, one stitch at a time.
Yep.
And so at the very end, in my conclusion of my speech, it was something about how it's not perfect, but it is beautiful. Whoosh, pull out the shawl. And the crowd's like, whoa. And blah, 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 one stitch at a time. I just like wrapped it all up with a nice little bow showing off the shawl, and I'm just like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, that's not a humble brag.
Okay, it's not a humble brag. Anyway, I found an excuse to brag about my knitting in front of a crowd of people.
Super
good
excuse.
Story.
Yeah, no, I think it was totally worth it. Well done.
I was proud. I was pleased with myself.
I would be too.
Yeah, so that's my yarn on the go for the week.
Yeah, I didn't really have anywhere to go this week. I just did groceries, so that's not terribly exciting. And even those I did on Saturday with Diana. Were we playing games Saturday? Yeah, then we recorded. Then I was home all week. So yeah, I just worked. I don't even have appointments this time of year. I know, who am I? Come April, there'll be nothing but appointments because I gotta get them all done before I leave in May. And then I could be gone till like June. I could be gone till July. So like I have to get all of them crammed in before I leave. All of my checkups and stuff.
All the yarn on the go?
Yeah. I think it's like I have 2 appointments every week in April, at least.
It's too many.
Too much junk, guys.
Shall we talk about some wool gathering?
Sure, let's gather some wool.
Do you want to gather your wool?
I got wool. I don't know if it's because it was on sale or because I sounded extra sad on Friday.
Some combination of the two?
Probably some combination of the two. If you guys are not aware, or if you are aware, I suffer from panic attacks and anxiety. It just means some days I'm fine and I'm fine for days on end. Sometimes I feel like I've been hit by a semi-truck and I sleep for 14 hours and I feed my cat, not myself. Like, some days are bad. One of the bad days was Friday and I host knit clubs. So about 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon or 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon, when I was able to raise my head out of bed long enough, texted Diana and said, hey, could you bring dinner? I don't have enough energy in my reserve tank to cook and host. I can do one or the other and that's it. And don't get me wrong, no one knit club would get mad if I took a 20-minute nap in the middle of knit club. Like, I could just lean my head back, put a blanket on, take a nap. The girls wouldn't care.
Nah.
No, it's not a bugger. So Diana was like, yeah, absolutely. So she was going to bring me dinner. But she had to go to Michael's first because she needed to pick up a ball of black yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And I got crinklies going on because she discovered that totally tubular yarn that I really like that she has was on sale. So she bought Jocelyn colors for me. They're so good. So this totally tubular yarn, I'm going to have to give you the ball bands because they ever think they have colorways?
Yes, this bluey green one is Dolphin.
And I don't know what the orangey one is.
The orangey purple one is Coral Reef.
Sure. Well, that's not too bad for a Coral Reef color reference. Anyway, it's like roving. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
It's really nifty, but I love that really big hat Diana did.
It's a fun hat.
So she got me 2 balls, which was amazing. Super exciting. So I'm going to do myself
clearing
something.
it out, so I was like, it's cheap.
Yeah. So I'm going to make myself probably a hat. I don't know what I'm going to do with the second ball, but something will happen. So I'm definitely going to make a hat. And then she was like, hey, and the pom-poms were on sale. So she got me 2 pom-poms too. So I have pom-poms.
For the giant hats that
are going to
may or may not make.
Well, I got that, one of my swag things was a CBC toque. And I showed you the palm on that. It's kind of sad.
It needs a better palm.
But this white palm on that black hat,
yeah,
that'll look great. And then I can attach a button, take off the sad palm, and then I can make a small hole so I can have it button secured.
Yeah.
So I can take the palm off and wash the hat. So that for sure is going to go on the CBC hat because I think that'll look great. And then it'll have a big fluffy palm. And then this one I think I'll do on the blue, but mind you, on the coral will look good too.
That's why I got those colors, because I figured they look good either way.
Absolutely. So at least a hat. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other one, but at least one of those hats that Diana did.
Make a fun cowl too.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe do this as a cowl.
Ooh, that'd be a good cowl.
That'd be a good cowl. Okay, so I've got some thinking and decisions to make because, you know, I got time to cast on new things.
Absolutely. I mean, those take like 3 hours to knit up, so.
This would, I could probably do both in a week.
Probably.
It's a bulky yarn.
No, it's a jumbo yarn.
Super bulky.
Goes so fast.
Ginormous. I actually have to see if I've got needles big enough. I think I do. If not, I might borrow yours.
Fair enough.
And then I'd have a deadline, your moving date.
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm not done, Diana. I will mail you your needles. That'll go over weirdly.
Hmm.
What are you putting in the mail? Knitting needles. Are they dangerous?
Maybe just...
No? But they're very lightweight. The package doesn't really weigh anything. I know. Does it need to be in the bubble? Yes. It's not like they're pokey enough to do any damage or come out the package.
No.
No. That'd be fun to mail those.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mail sharp pointy knitting needles. That would be dangerous. Alright, what's next? Oh no, we're still wool gathering.
Yeah. Our next Patreon
because
hangout...
my nose is itchy. I can't focus on anything else.
Our next Patreon hangout is on March the 21st, I have written down. That's the second last Saturday of March.
We have big news about Patreon.
Yes, we do.
We hit the first of our goals.
We've passed the $50 a month mark.
Which means Patreon now gets extra videos.
Which means I need to find some time to film... Are we calling them Experimental Tuesdays?
I think we're just going to call them Experimental Tuesdays. They might... I mean, the Experimental Tuesday might be on Friday. But it's just...
They might not go up on Tuesday.
But they're going to be called Experimental Tuesdays.
This coming from way back in the beginning of podcasting. We used to do this on a Tuesday night. And so I was also unemployed at the time. So Jocelyn would just like come over at like 1 in the afternoon or something. And we'd record.
And then we'd have dinner.
Yeah, and Mr. B would join us after his work. The boys would go in the back room and play video games until we were done.
Yeah.
And then we'd make something experimental for dinner. Yeah. So it was Experimental Tuesday.
Yeah, because we were all dating at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great couples date night.
It was.
Yeah, it worked out really well. So
that's where Experimental Tuesday comes from.
We're going to rehash that. So I'm going to leave it fairly broad. It's going to be experimental for you guys. So we'll do a lot of recipes we've never done before, but we might also do recipes or show things that we make from time to time that we think you guys might enjoy.
I'm looking forward to trying out a Korean noodle soup recipe that I found.
Super excited. I already know for a month period, it'll just be my face you see every week in the little videos. They'll be like 5 or 6 minute videos. Like they're going to be short and sweet, you guys. We will have the links for the recipes when we pull them offline. A lot of them come down from offline. But the week before Diana leaves, the week Diana has left, and the week after Diana has left will be me.
Yeah.
Because that last week, I don't think your mother will let you out of the house. The week you move, you're taking at least a 3-day road trip.
Yeah.
And then the week after, you'll be unpacking and settling in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those 3 weeks, I fully expect to be doing all those videos.
Which means you only probably have to deal with 2 videos in my crappy lit kitchen in Winnipeg.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because my one in Waterloo is much better lit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be out with Mom at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just before I leave to go to see Mom. So it'll work out just fine. Now she can hear Sherry on the other side of the door.
You have a guard cat.
I have a guard cat right now. So that's going on. So that's good, which is great. It means we've reached that first goal, which means the next goal...
And what is the next goal?
Is $100 a month.
Is that the book club one?
That's a quarterly book club one.
Cool.
And it doesn't matter what dollar denomination you are in for the goal reaches per month. If it's $1, you're in. If it's $10, you're in. There's no variations for those goals because those are goals that we're setting that we want to meet monthly to do things. So
super excited. This is a self-sustaining hobby.
It is now.
I'm really pumped about that.
Yeah, we now pay for our web hosting and we're going to be paying for our video editing exclusively, none of our own budgets now because you guys are able to help us out that much, which is amazing.
That's awesome. I
next goal is
I need a minute. I'm just gonna stare into the middle distance.
Okay,
and appreciate
okay.
this for a
I'll
minute.
talk about the upgrades. We're hoping to upgrade the microphones this year. We have to do double microphones because we're in different locations, and I'm hoping to be able to upgrade our headsets this year too, so that we can have a better sound quality for each other as well as for you guys. So first step was web hosting. We do that, and giveaways. We're pretty much there for that one. Obviously, the more we do that, the more we can do for the giveaways. And then
I'm just gonna open the door for her.
She's gonna drive you nuts till she gets that door open.
Nuisance, you little beast.
She is
Be gone.
a capital nuisance. And now we've got the super fancy editing programming, which means Diana and I can both have access to it in different locations, which is excellent for what we do. It also means we can streamline things. So if I'm just having problems with technology because the gremlins have come and hunted my butt down, Diana can come to the rescue. And Diana's not dependent on me. If I have a bad day or two, she can get in and get what she needs to get her stuff done. So, all the things I do in the background, people.
All this boiling down to thank you so much for supporting us financially. That's amazing. If you want to support us and can't do it financially, hit the like button,
subscribe, comment. All of it helps.
Just tell somebody about us. That's cool too.
Helps, and we are appreciative of everything that you can do.
Share, like, subscribe.
Oh yeah. Message us. Leave us messages. Tell us what you're working on. Yeah. I need more things to knit in my life. Absolutely. Add to my
We
pile.
love looking at pretty pictures too.
Oh yeah. I love it when we're tagged on Instagram. I get so excited about looking what people are like. Hey, we're doing this. I'm like, now I need that yarn. Thanks. Thanks so much.
You have what in detail near you? Oh, I might need that.
I'm jealous. Oh, I love it. I love them so good. My eyeball scratching notwithstanding because I had the windows open. The fresh air was really good though.
It was.
Okay, I'm just paying for it now. Outdoors are trying to kill me.
The only other thing is our podcast anniversary to celebrate 3 years of this craziness.
Ends next month.
Yep, so next month is our 3-year anniversary, and then at the end of March, that will be the close-off date. March has 31 days. I'm very sure of this fact now because I've been scheduling movers for some time around the end of the month.
Yes, you have.
It has 31 days.
31
I'm
days
absolutely certain.
Yes. Which is good because one of my bingo card challenges is the podcast anniversary knit along, and one of my make 9 challenges is the harvest cardigan. So I thought that through at the start of the year, guys. So that's, I need to get done on time so I can start marking X's and things. Oh Lord, guys, we're almost at the end of the 2nd month and I have nothing crossed off on the knitting bingo card.
Neither do I.
Ooh, it's not a good sign. This is in fact a bad sign.
Anyway, if you'd like to join us in celebrating our 3-year podcasting anniversary,
so much cake next month.
Knit an adult-sized sweater. Knit
What's a sweater?
It's a sweater by Tin Can Knits.
Okay.
An
Cool.
adult-sized sweater by Tin Can Knits.
There you go.
They have a lot of free patterns and a very wide range of sizes. The flax that I'm knitting, that's a free pattern that comes in size newborn to 4XL, 3XL?
3 or 4XL.
4XL,
no,
I think.
I'm 2XL, and there's 2 sizes above me because I am the 3rd largest size.
Very
so
wide size
4XL.
range. And it's a free pattern. So
it's a free pattern. Well, a lot of them are free. Some of them are paid for.
yes, this one in particular was free.
Yeah.
And then if you finish it before March the 31st at the arbitrary hour of the day where we remember to close the thread, which, let's be honest, is probably a week later.
April the 8th?
Something like that. We're very loose on end dates.
Technically.
Sometimes we leave it open until I finish, which is like a month later.
Just, you know, you're supposed to be done on the 31st of March. Whether I remember to close the thread on the 31st of March or if Diana's so close I want to egg her on and I'll leave it open for a week is something we have to decide on the 29th. So we just won't know for a while yet, guys.
Anyway, we have a thread on a Ravelry group.
Yep.
Enter your finished object in there.
We're no longer dependent on me and Diana remembering to go do these things on Ravelry. Asa is our amazing moderator. We cannot send her enough love and support and thanks and hugs. And if I ever make it out to Norway, all the real life hugs. Also, I may never come home if I make it over to the continent.
What's
Too
next?
much stuff.
Literature.
Cool. We got to the end of the readathon. I did not make it. I was about 200 pages short. Now, to be fair, my goal was 2,762 pages in 14 days. I made 2,000 in like 500.
That's a respectable number.
That is still a crap ton of pages in 2 weeks. 14 days, people. That is 3 out of 4 tomes over 500 pages. That's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
However, that's fine. I took a day off. The day after, I was like, no, I'm not reading anymore. I need 24 hours to stop and do something else. So I watched Cells at Work entirely. In its entirety.
Probably going to watch more of that tonight. Not gonna lie.
It's so cute. So I picked up and finished reading Decline of... Man.
Religion and the Decline of Magic.
Thank you. Religion and the Decline of Magic in 16th and 17th century England, which I found incredibly fascinating and interesting to read. If you are not into history, you will find it boring. There's your caveat. If you are into history, or if you're into magic, or you're into religion, and how it relates to history, super fascinating. Highly recommend. It's by Keith Thomas. So I was like, okay, done. I did a bunch of fantasies, history books. I'm feeling really good. I took a break from the super serious stuff. So, jump back into the serious stuff. Now I'm working my way through now the CBC Canada Reads shortlist. Here we go again ad nauseam, just in case you don't know what that is. Every year, CBC hosts a week-long panel discussion, like round table, hot air balloon debate for 5 Canadian author books. They have to be, I think they have to be like recently published. And every year they get 5 different celebrities, and each celebrity gets a different book, and they defend that book. Last person standing is the winner. So it's like the Book of Negroes has won. That's a pretty big one. Lawrence Hill. I think Lawrence Hill won for a second one too that was put in. So like you get some really good books. I use it as a way to, I have no idea why my nose is so itchy, but it's insanely itchy right now. I use it as a way to expand my reading horizons. Because otherwise, left to my own wheelhouse, I will read fantasy, romance. Like I'll stay there. I'm happy there. But I like expanding my horizons and reading other things. So it sort of pushes those boundaries and helps me to expand my reading horizons. So I am reading We Have Always Been Here.
Yes.
I cannot pronounce her name. I am sorry.
We're guessing Samra Habib.
I could be terribly wrong. Diana could be terribly wrong.
Deepest apologies for our lack of pronunciation skills.
I haven't listened to any of the pre-stuff for Canada CBC Reads for pronunciation. I've only read them. So it's all on me right now. And I don't know what she's doing, but we're running her out. She's got 2 modes. Not do anything and race. It's like teenagers the reverse of toddler. Where all she did was run or sleep. It's the same way. So... in the case of We Have Always Been There, it is a first-person perspective of being a female Muslim and being LGBTQ.
OMG?
No.
Sorry. There's a lot of letters.
It's a very serious thing. There are too many letters. I can't do it. And I always mess it up, and I feel awful every time I do it, but I always mess it up.
LGBTQ+.
Plus. Because there's extras on the end of it, and nope, I can't. I can barely do the first one.
I think there's like 13 of them in the full one.
I think so. I
can't.
LGBTQ+. That's like pi. I can do 3.14. I understand there's more.
159.
I can't.
That's the end for me.
3.14. I had a girlfriend who did a daily blog for a year to see how many she could do and remember it. That's a lot of numbers. Not for me. So I'm enjoying it. I'm only like a chapter or 2 in because I literally like started yesterday this morning. So it's not super. I'm not far enough in to say whether or not I like it or not because I'm like into the 2nd chapter. I'm still at the point where I'm still getting used to the narrator and the flow of the book. So I'm like, I'm not even gonna know for a bit yet. But it is on the Canada Reads, so I tend to finish them so that when the debate comes around at the end of March, usually like the second last week of March or the last week of March, I know what the books are that are being debated and I've picked my favorite. It's mostly just so that I picked my favorite to see if they win or not. But that's it.
Sorry, I'm dealing with yarn barf.
There'll be more CBC Read stuff as we go. That's okay. We need to take a break.
So, for my books,
Mm-hmm.
I finished Book of Night with Moon. I think I had like a chapter left when we recorded last week. And instead, I am now listening to the 7th book of the Expanse series, Persepolis Rising.
Oh, thank heavens.
Getting through it so much faster than reading a physical book. I don't know.
Also, the audio is quite good.
It is. So that's been a good thing to listen to and from work.
And it means we can talk about the books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Finally get through them. I can talk about them with you and Chris.
Finally.
Everybody else.
Everybody else.
I can say absolutely nothing about this book because if you haven't read the series yet, anything that I say will be a spoiler.
No, you can say Bobby's a badass.
Yes.
That's not a spoiler. That's just a statement of fact.
Bobby's still alive at the beginning of the 7th book. It might be a spoiler. She gets beat up a lot.
She's a Marine.
Yes. She continues to be a badass.
Yeah. It's just a thing.
She continues to be Bobby.
She continues to be Bobby.
And then for a physical book, I am reading a delightfully fluffy thing that I borrowed from somebody at work. It is a historical novel set in the Regency era in Paris.
Written in the 1920s?
Written in the 1920s. So it's got all kinds of flowery language and random French thrown in. And the plot is just so incredibly melodramatic and ridiculous. There's like this 20-year grudge between these two guys because the protagonist wanted to date this other guy's sister, court this other guy's sister, but their families were like, no, this can't be a thing, and so now they hate each other, and the protagonist is gonna get revenge on this other guy for not letting him date or court his sister via this kid that he found on the street that he bought into his service.
I love how you're like, book 7, I'm not going to tell you a thing because it could spoil it, but this other thing, I'll just describe the whole plot for you.
They give you the entire plot on the back of the book. I'm spoiling nothing. They give you the plot twist on the back of the book.
This is like the 3rd or 4th time I've heard the review of this one. I feel like I really need to read it.
It's
beautifully absurd.
The chapters are short. The content is fluffy and ridiculous. And there's like a whole Black Butler vibe going on between the protagonist and this page kid that he's...
Is he one hell of a butler?
No, it's a little bit reversed because instead of the older character being the servant...
Butler?
Yeah, the older character is the protagonist, the Duke. And the younger character, who I keep envisioning as like this 10-year-old kid, but he's 19.
Okay, you're off by about 9 years.
I know, but he's written like he's 10 years old. But he's 19.
Yeah, a 19-year-old butler? That would not have happened.
Well, page. Whatever the heck a page is.
You could be 19 and be a page, yes.
Yeah. But there's like an interesting vibe between them, and that's like the vibe between them is very Black Butler.
Okay.
Just the roles are reversed.
For the record, Black Butler is an anime manga series. Yeah.
There's an interesting sort of relationship between like an adult butler and this like 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, well, he's the devil. Well, a demon.
A devil.
A devil.
A demon.
A devil, a demon. Yeah.
One hell of a butler.
He's one hell of a butler. Get the pun. And he's conjured up by the wish of a dying boy who wants to live and get revenge. So that's why he comes. That's sort of the premise for it. It's a manga anime, guys. They can be quite out there.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
it's a good anime series, but I'm glad the book gives you some of those vibes because they're good vibes.
I'm honestly envisioning this book in my head as an anime series now, and it just got 10 times better when I did that. Like, it was good to start with, but it's 10 times better envisioning it as an anime.
Thanks to cells at work, you just imagine what's going to go through my brain when hay fever season kicks in. Oh my God. Cedar.
Everybody watching this is like, what are you laughing at?
What in the world are you two on? And why aren't you sharing?
Just watch Cells at Work on Netflix.
Watch it. It's fine. Even if you're like, your 2 cents of humor is off. You're right, it is. But, oh, I can't. Oh, hey, Red Buzzle. Such a dude thing. Die, you filthy germ! They're very hardcore about it.
They really are.
Oh,
Just right in there.
right in there. Oh, so cute. But yeah, no, I want a cedar plushie. Well, it's not that much different than I have the Japanese spokes plushie for Pizza Hut. It's a cheese poof. I have a plushie because it's from another anime, and I commissioned it, and a girlfriend made it for me, and I love it. So if I ever actually get around to finishing that cosplay, I'll cosplay as the character, and she has a plushie cheese poof. Body pillow size. It's like, it's huge. And I feel like I need a cedar plushie the same size. No?
Yeah.
I mean...
So you know when the cedar plushie is out, it's allergy season?
Yeah. Well, I just think it'd be a good partner for my cheese poof plushie.
Yeah.
I am approximately 12.
That's okay.
I have these
I have purple
super
socks,
great
purple glasses, a purple phone case. My favorite drink comes in a purple can. I'm 6 years old. I have a favorite color.
I have all these books that describe, like, I have an 800-page tome on Pompeii. I have copies of War and Peace.
Copies, plural?
I had more than one. I have all of these big, beefy, thinky books. Almost all the surfaces in my space have a stuffed animal on them.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a shelf of, 22-inch high dinosaur stuffies in my bedroom.
We're adults. We can make our own rules.
In my mind.
We can fill our homes with what makes us happy.
How I justify cake for breakfast.
Yeah.
It has all the ingredients that
I put ice cream on my pancakes yesterday.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know what to tell you.
Did you share that on your personal Instagram? Because I feel like that's a photo that should have gone up on your personal Instagram.
You know, I think I started to and got distracted.
Oh, I can remind you to do that because that needs to be seen.
It does.
That was a beautiful, beautiful shot.
I think I forgot to say the title of my book that started this whole conversation.
You did the whole thing but the title.
That ridiculous melodramatic book in Regency era France. It's called These Old Shades.
Okay. I feel like I might just want to read that just for fun.
It's very silly.
Oh, beautiful.
Love it.
Books are best.
Okay, that's all for books.
Okay.
Which means we're gonna rip through this review for this magazine because...
You were running way late.
I'm running way late for a potluck that I'm supposed to go to. Okay. I get in the mail every quarter the Interweave Knits magazine. So we have Interweave Knits 2020.
In the spring edition.
Yes, spring 2020 is the word that I forgot to put in there.
Now, Diana and I are huge fans of fall and winter. We, in fact, usually like every second pattern in them. But spring and summer don't catch our eyes quite as much, which tells you our preferences in knitting patterns. Cardigans and cables.
Yep.
They are big loves for the two of us. This spring one had some really pretty patterns in them, some really nice designs and stuff. There was one I'd put on the list, but it's done in lace, and my brain went, even though I'd wear it, I'd never make it, so it didn't go on my list.
That's okay, it's on my list.
Which is good, because if you make it and say it's not that hard, then I'll actually try it. That's the thing. But I did end up going with two things that I really liked that I actually would quite enjoy making. I don't know if you're showing.
I'm showing off the first one that happens to be in our page order because I wrote down page numbers to make this easier on myself.
This is why I wait till you're here to do a quick reflip and point out the ones that I liked.
This one's the Castle cardigan. I'm not sure if I would ever make it. I just wanted to put it on the list because I love textures, and this is all about the textures. It's got like garter stitch and moss stitch and some other stitches going on, and there's like 5 or 6 different stitches in there.
That'd be nice if you sometimes find it boring to knit the same stitch repetitively on a larger project.
So I like textures, and this has all of the textures.
Beautiful.
Don't know if I'll ever make it, but
it's on the list because if you did, you'd enjoy it.
I think so.
That's
maybe it's just the color. I just really don't like this color, but I quite enjoy the texture. So maybe
it's one of those kind of muted, earthy tones that can't quite decide what it is.
It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different stitch textures in it.
Okay, yeah, you would totally enjoy making something like that.
I would enjoy making it. I don't know if I'd enjoy wearing it.
That would depend on the color of yarn you went with. Okay, so I don't normally pick pullovers because I'm not a huge pullover fan.
It's the Kent Lamb pullover.
But this one doesn't have an obscene amount of detail going on. Okay, for the record, I like interesting details even when I swear at them a lot, like the garter stitch shoulder tab on the flax sweater. This one's got a nice detail running down your arm. It's got a nice detail down at the hem, but it's not all over detailing, which does not look good on my frame and my size. In my opinion, I don't like the super busy all over unless it's like 70s paisley print. Don't ask me why. That's just how I feel about it. And I don't like patterns where all the texture's right in the middle. I don't really need to highlight my belly. Thank you very much. It's not it's not my favorite part of myself. You want to highlight the girls and make them look larger? That's fine. They're already huge. It doesn't make a difference to me. But I do really like the pullover and the cabling pattern. Cable-ish pattern.
It's cabley.
It's cabley. I'd have to go with cabley. It makes like a nice little diamond run. Anyway, I think it looks really pretty. And I would totally do it. And right now, because I'm super obsessed with Cloud9 Fiberworks 1972 colorway, in that color. 1972.
Oh, yeah.
But every sweater I look at right now, I want to make in that shade of green Daria has. Every single one I look at. I really want to make a sweater out of that green. But that was the first one I was like, you know what? I would cast that on. I would knit that and I would wear it.
And this one?
That was the other one I would totally do. But that one I would do in a cotton or a linen.
This is the gilt lace cardigan.
And that's because it's a nice short sleeve little summery spring cardigan, which is exactly what cotton and linen are for. Maybe like a bamboo silk. Fancy. I like the little, again, I like how they've got the little designed holes. The lace starts up a little bit below the mid and back and then goes down. And I just like the look of it. It just looks like it'd be perfect with a t-shirt and a pair of capris or a summer dress and tights.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that start of spring, which is totally Jocelyn's wardrobe. So I feel like that would just plug and play into my wardrobe really well. In white. That should shock you guys. In white. I want to make that in white.
Okay, here's the lacy one that you were saying.
In cotton. If I don't make it in white, my mother will take it. Do you disagree? If it was blue or green, it would go live in my mom's closet.
Yeah, it would.
It has to be white.
Yeah.
I wouldn't knit it in black because I can't knit black. But white would go, like that cardigan, the white, the short sleeve one. And then my 70s paisley print. What? You are gesticulating with your fingers to the blind sibling.
Yes.
As a blind sibling.
Yes.
You're ridiculous.
Yes.
What would you like to tell me?
Laundry, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
You should know better!
I understood the question, but I couldn't answer it, so...
And I'm leaving that in! Really? Anyway. All of my super bold geometric print dresses with that on top.
Yeah?
Yeah. And my little white backpack with the cat ears.
Can definitely see that. That's
in my wheelhouse, in my wardrobe, yeah. So that may actually have to happen. Guess I'm buying a digital copy of the spring edition of the... Oh boy.
So this is the canopy tee. This is the lacy one that...
See, both of us wear it.
I don't normally go for the knitted tees, but I feel like I'm in a flux of my style is changing at the moment, and I'm really liking the concept of layering this over a camisole in the summer.
See, I was thinking over top my tank tops, like if I want to do like daytime tank top, but I want to do something just a smidge bit classier without adding a lot of weight. Yeah.
This is like a...
In Shibui yarn, because...
Oh, in Shibui, yeah, that just makes this a $300 project.
Well, Shibui is lace weight. Because it's
true.
designed to be held double to make it fingering. And the Shibui tweed, which is their linen blend.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. And it would only be like a $150 project, which is perfectly reasonable.
Anyway, this is like a drop shoulder. This isn't a drop shoulder. How would you describe
that? That is not a drop shoulder.
No.
That would be a bat wing shoulder.
That's a bat wing? Okay.
No, well, partial bat wing. It's not dropped. It looks... It's the one where it's not an inset sleeve. So then you've got partial bat wing, you've got sloped. It looks like, construction-wise, your sleeve and your body are knitted together.
Sure. I don't know how to properly describe that. It's short-sleeved, it's slightly oversized, very lacy, definitely to be worn with something else underneath.
Oh, yes.
But I think it can make a very fun layering piece.
I do too.
Alright, what's the next thing? Page...
Is it the hat where I want the cardigan and not the hat? But the patterns for the hat.
Oh, this one. Oh, I didn't write down the hat.
You liked the hat.
We did like the hat.
I would be shocked if you hadn't written down that hat. It's a slouchy hat.
I feel like I've done enough slouchy hats in my life.
You've done 2.
I've actually done several more, but my brother has them.
Well, they're not in your wardrobe.
Yes, but I've knit them. Oh, actually, this one's growing on me. I just realized it has this, like, faux cable rib going on.
Okay, well then, yeah, it's really gotta happen. It's got a faux cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Peihamu hat? Peihamu? I don't know. It's a slouchy hat knit in a fuzzy yarn. It's a slouchy hat. It's vaguely lacy. It's got, you can't tell it all from here, but it's got faux cables as the ribbing. It's actually fairly cute. I don't know if this photography is doing it justice, to be honest.
I thought it would go really good in your wardrobe.
You know, I think you're right, now that you pointed it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm adding that to the list.
I've gone crazy. I do know your style. That would be like you sending me a picture and going, hey, is this your kind of dress? If it's like the razor back with lots of cleavage going on and a bright 70s color. We know the answer is yes. We know the answer is yes. Jocelyn, I found this super bright pumpkin orange thing. I need it.
Alright, the last thing was the Arctic headband, which has all kinds of interesting...
That's not a headband. Oh no, it is a headband.
It is a headband. It's just a very thick headband, which is actually what I'd like in a headband.
Sure, that's 2/3 of a hat. Just finish the hat.
Because I like to wear my hair in a ponytail and then it doesn't fit under a hat.
Okay.
This would be perfect. It's the 2/3 of a hat that would actually fit over my hair.
Whereas I have to wear the half ponytail so that the headband stays on my head because my hair is too slippy.
I don't have that problem.
And
the Arctic headband. It's got all kinds of like wavy, almost cabley looking things. I really like the braided detail on the cast on. Oh, I guess it's not the cast on edge. It's the edge because I guess it's knitted sideways. Yeah, sideways. It's got some fun details, and they suggest making it out of Kiviot, which would just be the warmest freaking thing ever.
Oh my god.
I know, right? Would that not be the most glorious headband in the world?
That would be amazing.
Kiviot headband?
That would be so warm.
Okay. I think that's it.
That's it?
That's it. That's all we wrote down. There wasn't that many.
Well, again, it's the same with like the summer one. Like, we'll have a couple of pieces, but we won't be like, oh my god.
I'll be like, ooh, lace something or other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there'll be some sort of vest or something.
Fall and winter with all the cables.
It's just, that's us.
Cables sweatered. Cables sweatered? Sweaters?
Neither one of us have made a cabled sweater ever. Ever.
We see how fast I knit cables. I've been working on the cabled edge on that shawl for 4 years. 4 years! It's a pre-podcast shawl.
I've got the winter honey shawl that I'm working on by Andrea Mallory.
I don't remember.
I don't recall.
It's been a while.
Because it's been a while since I picked it up. Because it's out of that Briggs & Little that you had that you didn't want to make because it was the wrong color.
Yeah. We
discovered I love Briggs & Little. And then I can do cabling. And I'm doing, it's a really simple like honeycomb cable pattern, but I have to really be able to see to do it because I gotta focus. I don't have a lot of great seeing days right now, so it's not being worked on. So I'm hoping maybe I can pick it up and do some more work on it. I'll work on it as much as I can, and then when it gets too big, it'll have to be a winter-fall project because it'll be worsted weight Briggs & Little wool yarn, and I'm making the big version.
Of course.
What am I gonna do with a small shawl?
I don't know.
I'm a big person. I need a big shawl. Big shawl. So, no, I think that's it. That's everything. We're done and good.
That's Interweave Knits Spring 2020.
Woo! In which case, that's episode 153. Done and done.
Done and done.
Alright, so I'll say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit.
knit.
Hit the stop button. You gotta go to a potluck.
I gotta go potluck.